Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we're taking a look at some rumors around the NHL, and we've got some interesting ones here, so stay tuned, sit back, and let's take a look at these rumors. So, the first one from Pierre LeBrun, kind of shutting down a rumor that we had been hearing for a little while. I think once the Jack Eichel trade situation kind of played itself out, the Avalanche had taken Samuel Girard off the market. He really wasn't a guy that was on the market. It was more of potential rumors of, well, if it's Jack Eichel, maybe we'll move Girard in that situation. But for anything else, we're not moving him just for draft picks. And the Sam Girard rumors are overblown. The Avalanche have no intention of moving him. But again, that's for the right price. I believe that is something that could be up for discussion. Remember, we've heard this before. PK Subban was never going to leave Montreal from Marc Bergevin. A couple weeks later, he gets traded to Nashville. You know, we've seen this stuff happen before. This isn't the first time we've seen this, but it is just very interesting to see that. And it kind of leads into the next thing I want to talk about, and that is from Elliot Friedman, a big hockey insider. The Canadiens could consider trading for a puck-moving defenseman. Who's a puck-moving defenseman? I was just recently available. Oh, that's right. Potentially Samuel Girard. Again, I think it's overblown, and it's not necessarily, again, what do the Habs have that would even entice the Avalanche in that type of trade? But that is the kind of guy that the Habs are looking for. So, figured I'd throw those two together, just create a little friction with that. Maybe some smoke comes out, maybe not. And then comes the question of, if it's not Samuel Girard, because more than likely it's not, what kind of trade are you looking for if you're the Habs? Well, the problem is down the road in Toronto, they do have two defensemen that are available in Travis Dermott and Justin Hall. The question is that somebody that you want if you're the Montreal Canadiens, and do you want to trade with your Atlantic Division rival? And same thing for the Leafs as well. So I think there's something to be said. We're probably not going to see that kind of deal come down. Now, here's something I will mention, and I think it's going to be a problem in terms of salary cap. But right now, you're looking at the Dallas Stars. And saying to yourself, well, they've got John Klimngberg there right now. And I don't necessarily know if the Dallas Stars are going to have the money needed in order to bring him back. And John Klingberg is probably looking at the team in their standing position right now and thinking, maybe I don't want to sign here long term. Now, here's the thing for the Habs and Marc Bergevin. Will Marc Bergevin make a move in the final year of his deal to save the season for the Habs? Would he consider a John Klingberg trade? I think that's asking for a lot, but they are looking for a puck-moving defenseman. He's on the final year of his contract. He would come in cheaper right now than he did at any other time in his career. So is that just something that Marc Bergevin and the Habs would look at? We know Marc Bergevin isn't afraid of making trades, let alone in the middle of the season. We've seen him do this before. So is this, with the recent success of the Habs, is it enough for them to say, you know what, we're going to give up a high draft pick, potentially a prospect for John Klingberg? Now, again, the rational mind in me says that doesn't sound like the best idea. But this is Marc Bergevin. We know he likes to make big moves. That may just come up in the conversation. So, again, not saying I've heard anything in that regard from John Klimngberg to the Montreal Canadiens or vice versa. But there is something to be said there. And if you want to add some more center depth, obviously as some of this team gets kind of taken apart in Dallas, they're going to need some forwards. Will they look to the Montreal Canadiens to maybe add another forward? I mean, you look at some of the guys they've got there, you could make something work. It's just something to look at. You've got, especially down the middle, you have a lot of guys there. You have, who's the kid that's been there since the beginning of the season? They've also got guys like Ryan Poehling. They've got guys that could make it work. I mean, I don't think they're going to trade Cole Caulfield. I think he's untouchable in Montreal. But guys behind him could be up for grabs. And I wonder if the Dallas Stars, Jim Nill, and Marc Bergevin maybe get something done there. Now in Vancouver, that's where things have gotten really interesting. And this isn't on the trade front. It's more about the security of Travis Green and Rick Bowness, the coaching staff behind the bench for the Vancouver Canucks. The Aquilinis had a meeting with those two guys earlier this week, and it wasn't anything about firing Travis Green, but he was more asking questions about why is this not working. And I think what the Aquilinis are trying to do is, see how much of a pulse does Green have on this team, and if what they think is the problem with this team matches with what he thinks is wrong with this team, and if they can continue their relationship in that regard. So definitely interesting to see what's going on in Vancouver. I've seen multiple things, and they've kind of just, at the end of the day, this is a team that, isn't great defensively. We knew that going into this season. That's part of the reason I had them not making the playoffs this year. They just don't have enough defensive depth, and their goal scoring is being limited because their forwards are so focused on protecting that defense where they're not scoring enough goals and they're still giving up goals because the defense is just not that good and their goaltending isn't that great. So you find yourself in a situation where you're on a West Coast road trip, you're playing the Anaheim Ducks, you're losing 5-1 in Anaheim after this meeting, mind you, and the team is just not finding success. So you have to wonder, according to Evan Reagan, he believes that Travis Green and Rick Bowness are both on the hot seat in Vancouver. Now the question is, who would come in? I would think, both these guys, especially Rick Bowness, a very well-known guy in the NHL, they'd be pretty quickly scoffed up at an assistant coach role next offseason. But it's interesting. It is very interesting to see where the Vancouver Canucks are right now. And, you look at some teams that have had early season struggles. I mean, the thing with Vancouver is they actually started the season okay. They beat the Flyers in the Flyers home opener. They won a couple games on that East Coast just to make you think, okay, well, what are we? We didn't really know what Vancouver was through the first month of the season. But now you're going on an 0-4-1 streak, and you're starting to question, all right, what's going on in Vancouver? Why is this team struggling so much? And I honestly, it comes down to the defense. And at the end of the day, it seems like a cliche, but defense wins championships. And the Vancouver Canucks don't have that right now. Not to mention the fact they don't really have goaltending either, and it's hampering their offense. The one thing that they're good at, they can't be good at because they're so worried about keeping the puck out of their own net as well. So definitely something to keep an eye on there in Vancouver. And that is it for today's video. A lot of stuff going on around the NHL, a couple more rumors here and there. Obviously, earlier this week, I talked about potentially a Philip Forsberg, Vladimir Tarasenko trades coming up in the near future. I think that's more of a deadline situation, but that's something to definitely keep an eye on. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL and more videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, we're getting into the holiday season. Make sure to check out our Streamlabs shop. That link is in the description down below. If you want to help support the channel, pick up some Goal Line Hockey merch ahead of the holiday season. Make sure to check that out. We got hats, beanies, sweatshirts, t-shirts. Maybe you're going on a road trip with your team as a visitor road trip. Maybe bring a backpack with you. We've got all of that on our website in the link down below. Guys, always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you again next time.